Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again today. So, in today's session, we're going to look at how to remotivate your child after the Christmas period. So, if you are new here, please make sure you join our community and click the subscribe button. It really does help us out. It really helps me push this content out to more parents. Anyway, let's dive straight in. So, this is a short guide, and I'm just going to tell you how to motivate your child again, get them locked back in for these final two terms for the spring term and the summer term before their exams start. So let's start off with what are the key problems that we tend to see about this time of year? So January, February time, what are the key sort of problems that we see? The first one that I always see is that the first school term is very, very long. So going from September all the way through to December, it's 16 weeks for most schools. So it's 8, then 1 week off, then 8 again. And then we get 2 full weeks on. And then coming back, it's very, very difficult after 2 weeks to be locked back in. The second thing that I see wrong is the first 6 weeks of a new school year. I think students find them really tough. It's not very exciting and it's super underwhelming. It's dark, it's wet, it's windy, it's very, very cold, it's often snowy, and that's very hard to get locked in. And the third one is exams feel really, really close. So let's try and recalibrate. Let's try and re-goal set and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to give you three very actionable things you guys can do. So the first action is let's recalibrate our goals. So let's get locked in now. So, what did their mock say? So, most year 11s, and I think some year 10s do this as well, is around about October, November, maybe start December, they do some mocks. So, what did their mock say? So, let's say, for example, their target is a grade 6 and they got a grade 4 in their mocks. It's reasonable to say, let's continue to aim at grade 6. But if they're aiming for a grade 6 and their mock said that they were a grade 5 or a 6, let's aim higher. Let's be a bit more aspirational. Let's try and aim for a grade 7. Doesn't mean we're going to get it, but it means we can aim there and we can put some steps in to get this. So now that we've got our goals locked in, we can then spend this week locking our revision in. Sorry, my camera just moved around then. We can spend this week trying to lock our revision in. So lock it in early and figure out what we're going to do. So are we going to lock in 3 lots of 1 hour sessions every single week until the exams? Or could we start with maybe 3 lots of 20 minutes? That seems manageable. And then let's increase this by 5 or 10 minutes every week. So a lot of students that do this, if they can stick with it, it's obviously better because it's more revision. But sometimes if you start the first couple of weeks of January by doing 3 lots of 1 hours, it's a little bit overwhelming. So let's start off with 3 lots of 20 minutes. The week after, let's do 3 lots of 25, then 30, then 35. So you're not behind by much. Most students are in the same boat, and most students are behind at this time of year. But we can do this, we can lock it in, we can sort our revision out, and then we can get the grades we want. The second action is just going back on this key problem. The first 6 weeks, it's underwhelming, it's not exciting, etc. Let's find more ways to have fun. So January and February, they are tough months at school. Christmas excitement, it's gone, it's wet, it's cold, it's dark, and school really does drag because of this. So let's find more ways to have fun and enjoy our days and our weeks. So it's things like maybe you've got football practice, maybe you do netball, maybe you do athletics. So if you don't, maybe you can start something new. Maybe it's start going to the gym. Maybe it's going for a run. Maybe it's going for more walks in the evenings and enjoying yourself. Maybe it's exploring more things on the weekends with your friends. So maybe it's like going to the cinema, going bowling, having a sleepover, that kind of stuff. So plan something nice to do, something fun every single weekend, and then make sure you're doing these nice things as well in the week. And that's going to help you get through those dark and those tougher months. The next thing, I mean, if I was looking at this a bit properly, I would have put that on the next page, but never mind. It's break the weeks down. Now, this is a mathematical way, super easy maths, by the way, to try and figure out exactly what you need to do every week. So here's the example. So when I've released this video, it's this first week of January. We're back at school. But if we go from next week, which will be the Monday, the 12th of January, there's 18 school weeks. So by the time you're watching this, it might be something different, but you can calculate this. But I'm going to work off 18 school weeks. Now, 18 weeks is less than half a year. It seems like the exams are super, super close. But let's break this down and make it manageable. So let's say your target grade is a grade 5, okay? And your mocks came back as a grade 3. That must feel like you are a million miles away. And I understand how you might feel. I understand that you might feel this way. So you need to figure out how many marks off the grade five were you. So ask your teacher this. So grade five was X amount of marks, you are Y amount of marks. How many marks are you away? So let's say, for example, you're 50 marks. That sounds like it's a lot of marks. It sounds like it's loads, doesn't it? But wait, it's not. It really isn't. It just feels this way. So let me explain. 50 marks divided by 18 weeks is 2.7 marks a week. Let's say 3 marks. So 3 marks a week. We need to improve our scores by 3 marks per week. So what you could do is if we did a test paper and we got, so there's 3 test papers, so it's 1 mark per test paper per week. Okay. So let's say we take 1 paper a week and in the mock, on average, we scored, let's say 20. The next week, we want to get 21. The week afterwards, 22, then 23, 24, etc. That's manageable. So what we could say is that because we need 3 marks per week and we're doing 3 revision sessions, that's 1 extra mark per revision session. Now, when you sit down for 45 minutes and you're trying to find a mark from somewhere, that's really manageable. So, like, let's say, for example, let's go to Maths Junior. I just want to show you something very, very quickly, just sort of doing this off the cuff. Let's say, I don't know, let's say your revision session is, I don't know, indices, whatever it is, and you're spending 45 minutes going through some indices question. And let's say before the session, you weren't able to answer this question, but now you can. Well, you couldn't before, which means you lost out on 4 marks. You now can, which means you've gained 4 marks. Let's assume you forget half of it anyway, because that's how learning works, and you've gained 2 marks. We've gained 2 marks. That counts towards your 50. And like we said, we're only aiming for 1 mark per session. You've just gained two. That's ahead. That's great. So by doing this, you've now made this 50 marks or however many marks you are off your target grade, you've now made this doable. And that scales as well because if you're at grade three and you're aiming for a grade five, but you want a bit higher, or maybe you're on the higher tier and you know you can get a grade seven, but you're aiming for a grade eight or grade nine, you can break things down this way. And every time you do a revision session, you're aiming for 1, 2, 3 extra marks. And I promise you it all stacks up. So hopefully that made things clear. Hopefully that cleared up a specific problem for your child. And yeah, just let me know in the comment section if there's anything you're going to action or if there's anything you would add yourself or anything you found useful. But I'm going to drop these links in the comment section below in the description. And if anyone wants any extra help and you want some more structure, you can book yourself in a free lesson. So this link will be in the chat box. But also, if you wanted to just join straight away, you can try a 7-day free trial. So this link will be in the description as well. So yeah, you can just click on this. You get a 7-day free trial. By the way, the price does display in dollars. It's an American website, that's why. So it is price does display actually in pounds, so you can check that out. But what this is on the calendar, you can access any lessons you want. So some kids take 1 lesson, some take 2 or 3, some of them take 4 or 5 classes. So just join as much as you want. It's really simple. Just click on the lesson, click on the link there, and you're straight in. And we've got a classroom here, which you've got loads of access to the free resources. All the lessons are recorded and stored and everything. So yeah, if you want any help there, you're more than welcome to come and join us and try 7 days for free. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click subscribe, make sure you hit like on the video, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Speak soon. Try and click stop. There we go. Speak soon.